Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back, welcome back. It is time to test. It is finally time to put this thing to the test. So, on our way over there, I'll talk about the changes that I've made. Alright, so I took the engine from there. I just copied it over. And I put it on the back of the pivot there. So, and then that's just the generator. So it has another engine in there, which is a generator. It's not the fastest land vehicle. Like it could be a bit faster, but there we go. Yeah, so I've done that. Put the distillery on there. I doubled the size of the chamber. It only held 600 units before. Now it holds 1100. So we can't make this chamber too large. If we make it too large, we're not going to be able to heat it up. I thought I could take one of these bins and heat it up, but it's just too large. I can get to about 130, and then it caps out from there. So there is a maximum size. There is a maximum size, chamber size and that's it. So whatever that is, I'm not sure because I haven't hit it yet. Yeah. So this thing it moves good. Right, it can take some of the bumps and that. So. Whoa, lightning, holy cow. I can't do anything too sharp with it. Yeah. So it's got two furnaces in it. One furnace warms up the oil in the first chamber, and then the second furnace warms it up into the distillery chamber. And so my hope with that is that if it pre-warms the oil, we're not going to lose so much of the heat while it's distilling, and maybe we can sort of maintain, a little bit of a flow. But anyways, what's going to happen is this chamber is going to fill up with oil, and then once it gets hot enough, it'll start to distill. So the oil will disappear, and then it will be replaced with diesel and jet fuel. And so the hope is that the pumps and everything will be able to keep up to it, and we will be able to get a decent amount, right? Yeah, yesterday we were able to get 150 per push, so I'm hoping we can do a lot more than that this time around. Yes, I hope coming up that they do rebalance the economy a little bit. It seems that there are certain aspects of the economy that are way out there, and it seems like there's other aspects of the economy that just don't make the grade. So I'm sure there's a plan for development. I know at times it could be frustrating at times. Um, as a player, I get it. Because we don't know the plan. We don't know the development plan, the releases. So yeah, like gold for example. That is a primary example of a commodity that could be far better than what it is. All right, so we'll just get a little bit of oil. I don't know, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 units. Should be enough. I'll have to put some more lights on this and whatever. Make it better. Yeah, just coming up here. There it is. I thought I was a little closer, actually, to the back side. So I guess what all this means is that if we were to extract oil from the Arctic, let's say, we wouldn't be able to refine it in the Arctic. I don't think we could get the distillery hot enough. I don't think we can get the heat in there that we need for it. Alright, we can stop here. And this just idles at 8. Just let it idle for a minute while we set up. Okay. So, oil is going to come out here. Oil comes out of this one. Ooh. Plug it into there. Turn you on. Alright, now we're pumping oil. Yeah, now we're pumping oil. Whoa. Oh no. Oh, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I was testing this thing with water and I forgot to unload the water. So we get to do the drive all over again. Yeah, so I had a generator hooked up to the main engine, and the problem with that is that the clutch goes to the wheels as well, so I just couldn't get enough energy to the generator. So what I had to do is I had to just take the engine and just connect it to a generator. So that's what the red box is. It's just a 3x3. It's the same engine that's in here, and it just has the medium generator, and it's enough. It's more than enough to keep up to it. All right, I just have to empty the bins. I'll show the inside of the bin. Right, so we have one furnace here which cycles the oil inside the container, and then we have this furnace here which takes the oil, warms it up, and sends it into this chamber here. So we're still going to lose. I still don't think we'll be able to fully, to keep up to it. I don't think we'll be able to. It's going to go in arcs. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to go, just because I don't know how many of these furnaces I would need to keep this chamber warm. Like right now, I think the warmest I can get it is like 150 degrees. It might continue to heat up, but it's going to take a really long time, right? And it needs to get to 300. So I would probably need 2 or 3 of these furnaces inside here, just keeping the oil warm enough that, that could almost be enough to pump it through. But for that to work, yeah, probably then I need my mobile reactor. Yeah, I probably would need the nuclear reactor at that point to distill the fuel. Yeah. So the next oil rig that I plant will need to have a nuclear reactor on it, so I can distill the fuel there. If that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. So let's I'm a ways away from that though. With the research and that, we're probably, it's a grind. It's going to be a grind. But that's where we're going. The nuclear power. All right. Let's get out of here. And it's empty. Perfect. It's empty. Yeah, it drives nice. So if we get, I don't know, oil nodes, I guess, on the continent, I mean, we don't really need it. We don't really need it, I guess, now. There's more than enough, more than enough oil. I was saying I could turn this into a drill rig, the crane. I could take the crane and turn it into a mobile drill rig. And then we have the refinery, so as far as the land goes, we can find oil anywhere and distill it. So then this, in the ocean, I guess, I would take this setup and I'll have to put it into a ship. That's going to be a big ship, wow. And it would be the distillery. Yeah. Yeah, that would be neat. Alright, where are we going here? Ooh. Yeah, I try not to factor in the fuel that I have now. I try to say, okay, I got 5,000 units of fuel. I try not to make that a factor in how much fuel I'm getting back. I'll just go until I run out of energy or run out of fuel here, and then I'll see how much I'm able to distill. And, I mean, that's the easiest way to do it, right? To see if we're going to be positive or if we're going to be neutral or if we're going to be negative. All right, it's middle of the night again. Looking for this distillery or the oil well. It handles a lot better than I thought it would. What it needs is some sort of suspension. Or a way for the trailer to pivot, to rotate. And that would make this thing perfect. There it is. There's the right way out there. That's all you can see. There it is. All right. Yeah, so then I was thinking about this setup and thinking about mining. And I thought, I could, if this was a bin and this rear one was a bin, then in the middle, I could put the excavator top on top of here. And this could be like a compartment, I don't know. Living space, whatever. That engine there, I could put in here. And then this would be like the ultimate mining vehicle, right? The excavator head, maybe it's got 4 mining things on it instead of just the one. We'll see. I thought about that as well, because it's the larger chassis that we have, right? Ooh. And I could cut this down low. It's wide enough so we could still pivot, and then I would just need the arm, and then that way we could reach, minerals. And it would be like an all-in-one setup. Whoa, I hit the ground over there. It would be like an all-in-one setup for minerals. All right. So we'll let this idle at 8. Lightning. It's a wild storm. Let's go get some more oil. Plug that in there, turn that on. Have to go back into the rig. And there we go. Pumping oil. All right. Let's unlock this. And we'll plug in this. So this hose here goes from the chamber. There's a furnace on the inside connected to here. That's what's going to warm up the chamber. All right, and we'll turn that on, and we got lights up there. We don't need that just yet. Now, let's figure this out. So this was the inside over here. So we'll turn these on. Just turn the buttons on. Okay, yeah, let's get the hoses connected, and then I'll turn on the generator. You want to turn the generator on before you turn on the furnaces, because if we get too low on power, the vehicle won't turn over, the generator won't start. So you have to be careful of that. All right. Yeah, it's pretty well, it's just like a big tractor. You know, big tractor with a trailer. Okay, so that is set up, and that is set up. How much oil do we have? 3,000? I'll wait for it to get... I mean, I could wait for it to fill up, really. Let's see. Let's start the generator. That needs to be plugged in. Generator plugs into here, so now we have fuel for the generator. Turn that to 2 systems. There we go. Alright, generator is running, that's running. Let's turn the furnace on. Let's turn the refinery on. So it'll heat up here. This is the oil temperature. Or the chamber temperature, I guess. 5, and this was 15. So the truck is running as well. It's just idling at 8, giving us like baseline power. There we go. So the key to keeping the furnaces going is steady electricity. If you start losing electricity, the furnaces start to cool down. And I think that was the issue that I was having. That's the issue. So now this, see, it's filling up with oil now. And that's the chamber temperature. We'll have to wait for it to fill up, and then it'll heat up. That's so cool. There's the oil. I just doubled it. It was a single 1x1, and now it's 1x2. I just wanted to see if it'll work with the double. That's so awesome. I'm sort of testing it as like, how much oil can I get in there? Because it has to maintain that 300 temperature. So what I can do is I can turn on the pump in there, and I can pump enough oil to fill it up. And then I can just cycle that oil through the furnace so just the chamber stays hot. And then what it'll do is it'll refine everything in there, and then I'll have to fill it up again. I'm pretty sure that's how this is gonna work. So yeah, so I'm just sort of testing out the maximum volume. What kind of volume can I have in there before I'm not able to keep it warm? So if you see here, see we're at 123, and you see how we're slowly warming up. I believe a lot of that has to do with, one, we're still getting oil, but the size of the chamber that's being heated up. I don't know, it probably doesn't make any sense. There's 50,000 liters in there, so whatever that volume is, it's going to take a lot more energy to warm up that volume versus the volume that's in here. So if we figure out what our maximum volume here is, that's going to allow us to distill from here, we'll be at our peak efficiency. So it's still filling up with oil, and we're still gaining heat, which is good, which tells me likely there's capacity for more. And then once it starts to refine, we'll have to see what the loss is, if we can get there. There's still a long ways to go. I don't quite know what the temperature is of the generator either. Didn't really think about that. All right, look at that. I'm gonna get in the seat for a moment. So it's full. Let's see if I can find out how much is the volume that's in there. I have to look at, it's going to climb all the way up here. There we go. 1130. Let's see where we're at for temperature. Ooh, we're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, so I better stay up there so we can watch what happens. Let's watch what happens when we're able to distill. Okay, would be nice. Some low friction shoes would be nice. Okay, so this is our temperature block here, but you can't see it. Although you have to be inside. So this is why I was thinking it might be in an arch. It's going to distill the oil that's in there now, and then new oil is going to fill the chamber, which is going to be at a cooler temperature, which is going to cool down the temperature inside the chamber, which will, so we'll stop distilling, right? So I wanted to see what, how much we can get. Yeah. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Not bad. See, it's bubbling there, so it's bubbling. We're getting new oil. Whew, not enough to keep up to it. Can't siphon it fast enough. Oops. Wow. Oh yeah, there it stopped. It peaked. It peaked at 76. All right, then let's see what happened down here. Oh yeah, see, we just dropped just below. So we're dropping because now the new oil is filling up, which is fine. So let's see how much refined fuel we got. 200. 200 refined fuel from that. We didn't lose that much temperature. Alright, just let some gas out of the chamber. So maybe what I'll do is I'll stop pumping oil for a moment. And we'll see if that has any effect on what's going on here. This is a 2. So we're pre-warming the oil and then we're warming it again into the chamber. There we go. Yeah, see it's starting to warm up now. Alright, so we must have just been able to get some more fuel. Oh yeah, look at that, another 200. Another 200 dribbles. So that's what we're getting. We're getting a couple hundred dribbles at a time. But if I can get this to heat up further, it's almost enough. We didn't actually lose that much. We lost 10 degrees. And now look, it's already starting, oh maybe it's bouncing. There we go. Now it's starting to warm back up already. So interesting, an interesting process, distilling fuel. Refining oil, and there we go, now it shoots up. So we'll see what happens here on the temperature side. So now it starts to refine. Oh, it slows down. I see. Yeah, you see that? It starts to slow down. A little bit. So what I need to do is I need to get that oil to cycle while it's in the chamber, and then it'll get even warmer. Yes, that's what I need to do. So with this furnace here that's drawing the oil out and putting it into the chamber, I should have a second tap on this furnace, which cycles the oil inside the distillery through the furnace in a separate loop. And what that will do is that will allow us to maintain this temperature. And I suspect that perhaps that might be enough to actually maintain that temperature. Because see, we're not really losing that much, right? And we're losing it because the new oil that's coming in is colder than the oil that's in there already. But if I'm able to get it to cycle, you'll see that the temperature is 380 degrees. So we might be able to keep this above 300. This might almost work. Where are we at on 30-minute runtime on that? All right, let's load the autosave. Why not? This is the game. This is the strange game it is. It might have some effect, it might have no effect. We'll try. But I think that's what's happening. So when the chamber fills up, there's no more oil being drawn through the furnace from the chamber. So that's why it gets to that, it heats up to there, and then it starts to cool off. So we need to have a way to cycle that fuel. Yeah, see, we have to come off of here. We need to cycle that fuel from here. So we need one of these. Just like that. Right, so what is happening? This one is circulating oil inside the chamber, keeping it warm. This one is sucking the oil out and pumping it into this chamber. Once the chamber fills up though, there's no more oil that can come through here. So what we need to do is we need to take it from here and bring it back into the furnace. And then that way what we'll do is we'll create a loop, a closed loop. So we're still gonna suffer a little bit of a loss in heat, but hopefully it won't be that much. As you see, the furnaces can get up to 380 degrees. So we have 80 more degrees of heat. And right there, I was just dancing over 100. We're just dancing over 300. So if I can get this to be stable, this can be in, this can be out. All right, and that one is, I think it's labeled 2. Yeah, so that'll work there, and then that would just be drawn through there. That one pump should be enough. I had 2 pumps last time, a pump coming in and a pump coming out, instead of just one pump on the furnace. But that should be enough. It just gives us a little bit. It just gives us. You know what? Let's. I can test it. I can test it with the water, and that's going to give us conviction here. That's going to give us conviction. So we need this here. It's going to tell us if this is enough or not. I can go to this one. And this can go here. So there, one is on one side of the pump, and one is on the other side of the pump. So it shouldn't matter. They should still be in line. Like that. And then if I turn on the furnaces, oh, I'm gonna need a cable. I won't be able to get it hot enough just running off the batteries. it's filling up with water. I know it's not the same because we won't be distilling it, but all of this will tell me if I can maintain a constant temperature in there while, if we, what our maximum temperature is that we can maintain in there. It should work. Right, yesterday with the example I was using, it was a single furnace, and I was doing the exact same thing as I'm doing now, and it worked through one furnace without preheating the oil. And now we're preheating the oil and we're sending it through. So it'll work. I'm gonna set this down as it'll probably work. All right. So what does that mean? That means let's despawn it and respawn it and go. Oh, I'm a moron. Despawn. We don't want any water where the oil is going to be. All right, there we go. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Now that might do nothing. Might do nothing. We'll see. Now we're going to do the test, the actual test. The actual testing part. Right, so the concept is there. The vehicle works. And now you see that the problem with when the workbench has an error, what do? I've planted the rig. And you see how many times I had to take this vehicle back and forth to the workbench for this and that, like random stuff. It is what it is. When you're building something, you're going to forget something or miss something, or you want to add something. So if you get locked out of the workbench, you're pretty much done. And this is why I kind of gave up on trying to test fuel and refining and all that sort of stuff, just for this reason. Because it became so much of a pain to try and handle it and test it. You know, unless you go to the Arctic, you can buy it in the Arctic and try and distill it there, I guess. Yeah, we have to find a workable scale. That's the hardest part in the building games, is finding a workable scale. And then once you found that scale, we need to see if we can apply that to, you know, the game. Yeah, so all this testing I would have liked to have done at the rig. The distilling, the energy consumption, all of that. I would just go in creative mode, spawn and despawn it a million times, play around with it. That's just how it goes. Like I say, but I don't know. I don't know why these workbenches lock you out. I had one case where it was the magall. I put a magall on it to lift the pipes, and for some reason the magall locked me out of the workbench. So, for all I know, could be anything. All right, it's just ahead of us now. We are empty. What do we got? 4,500 units of fuel. I don't actually know if you could make this into a ship. The amount of weight, it would be hard. It would be hard. All this would be underwater. This would be all hull, and then you just need one little lookout on top. All right. The sun will come up while we're here, so that's a good thing. Yeah, what this thing needs now is a helicopter pad and some of these liquid containers. All right, boom. Okay, you can idle there. Grab a hose. All right. Turn that on. We'll get this start pumping, and then we'll set the rest of the truck up. Whoa, that was like right above us. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. I guess we're starting on this side. That hooked up. This one hooked up. I could probably unlock that as well while we're waiting here. Give that a chance. Give the winches, the hoses a chance to stretch. All right, and then we've got this side here. And the side right here. Perfect. One more hose for here. With the generator. And then we need two more. Two more, holy. Let's see. That can go up. We need these ones connected now. Let's see, this can connect to here. this could connect to here. All right. That's that. Whoa, okay, so let's start the generator. Okay, and then let's turn everything on. So it seems like we can warm up the oil, and adding new oil doesn't have too much of an effect on that part of it. There's the oil. How are we looking for fuel? Oh yeah, we still got 4,400. So now that it's cycling, just wondering if I should let it fill first. Might not have a chance to fill up. I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, it looks like 123. You know, we're still slowly gaining, but this will probably cap out. This will cap out. We're stable. Electrically, we're stable. Waiting on this now. Yeah, this is going to be the last episode for a little bit. For a little bit. Take a little bit of a break from this. And I think we'll have a redesign of this coming up. And yeah, a couple of more things here. See what we can do. See, here's where I find out if maybe this chamber is too large, or see, it's still filling up, so I don't know. You know what I mean? This is where we find out if this is going to work or not. Hopefully it does. Fingers crossed it does. Not bad on the fuel consumption. See how we're doing over here. Yeah, see, we're slowly gaining in here still. It'll hold 50,000 oil. forgot to put on a volume knob so I know how much volume is in here. Oh yeah, it holds 1187. Okay, so it's almost full. Once it's full, it'll heat right up. So the fact that we're adding oil and the temperature is still going up is a good sign. Take it as, see now that I shouldn't have, I'll delay plugging that one in next time. And then that way it'll fill up, and then I'll plug it in and let it cycle through. And it won't, well, I guess it's the same really. 970, come on, you can do it. Alright, so that's going to stop here at some point. Oh, you see that? Our gains are increasing now. Look at that, increasing our gains. All right. Oh, let's see. Let's do a statistics check here. So we used about 500 units of fuel. I can't tell how warm this engine is. Pretty warm. This is the curious part. Once we get to 300, if we can keep these gains. But it's, if it's like an arch, which normally it is, then we'll be at the top of that. And it'll be harder for us to maintain that temperature, the higher temperature than a lower average. I understand all that stuff. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed on a Sunday morning. Wow, look at that, 392 look at the temperature still going up in there. Oof. If it gets too hot, could be a meltdown. If it gets too hot, there could be a meltdown. We don't want that. We don't want the meltdown. I hadn't thought of that. I can open the vents. That might cool it off. Wow, look at how hot. Wow. All right, let's see. Let's see if it'll hold at 300. Oh yeah, it will. No, it's starting to drop now. Starting to drop. It didn't drop as well. We were within 10, so I guess that's that. We were within 10. Look, it's already look. I only lost 3. That's not bad. That's not bad actually. So it's not completely steady, but we did gain quite a bit. And that's why I'm saying it's going to be hard. Obviously, this is probably where you need nuclear power or something just to, well, we're stable. We don't need nuclear power. We need we need more heat. So let's see what kind of fuel we're getting out of this thing. Alright, that doesn't really tell me much. Let's go see what the chamber looks like. Oh, you know why? I think I know what the problem here is. We could do that. It is in a closed loop. So I guess that isn't. Fortunately, I didn't choose not to mix it. So it is a closed loop. So long as we distill it away, okay, that's fine. I'm just thinking about the fuel, that's all. So let's see what it's given me here. Oh my goodness. I keep moving around too much when I'm on top of this thing here. Oh, will you get lost? I'm not even running. I'm just moving at regular speed. And I'm over jumping. Alright, there we go. Yes. This is how much movement there is up here. What is going on? Okay, so it does produce, it is almost a steady amount. Like, it is almost a steady amount. And that's where it loses, the heat. Ah, goodness me. Okay, so, well, it's not bad. There you go. 250. What have I burnt for fuel now? Let's see, what do we burn for fuel? Now we can do a comparison, a real comparison. Let's see. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. Now, if I go back to the port and connect to the port, we can have infinite refining. I was just hoping I'd be able to do that here on site. It is difficult with diesel. So, $3,700. Yeah, you see the, ooh, look at that. This is almost 200. But it's too bad that it doesn't really, you know, we're still losing it here. And I don't want that to go to 300 or else I could have problems. I could have big problems here. But this is what I'm thinking. So it's full, right? And then if I unplug this, okay, if I unplug this, oh no, it still loses. still loses heat. Now that was interesting. But yeah, something tells me that if I'm... Anyways, if I stay here long enough, I'm sure this will get hot enough. I might even start distilling it in this chamber, which I thought maybe that's the next... No, because then you need these here, so it's better just to pump it through here and do that. But you see what's happening here? If this oil temperature gets up to 300, it's going to produce steady fuel all the way through. And I should be able to refine this total amount here. But that is going to do it for this video. There really isn't much more to it. It's just going to be me standing here. Wow. Seeing if this is going to... Oh, this has been an hour. Seeing if this is going to hit 200 or 300. I imagine it will. Look at how fast it's going now. Yikes. Yes, thank you so much for watching. And I'll record this little bit. If this happens to go to 300, I'll start recording just to show what it does. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you all in the next one.